Alrighty, folks, I'm back. Gonna go grab the book. Second here, give me a minute. Here we go. Dive right in. Fire Within. Brain researchers estimate that your unconscious database outweighs the conscious on an order exceeding 10 million to 1. This database is the source of your hidden natural genius. In other words, a part of you is much smarter than you are. Wise people regularly consult that smarter part. As Michael G. Gelb, author of How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci and Discover Your Genius. According to an ancient legend, there was a time when ordinary people had access to all my knowledge of the gods. Yet time and again they ignored this wisdom. One day the gods grew tired of so freely giving a gift that people didn't use, so they decided to hide this precious wisdom where only the most committed of seekers would discover it. They believed that if people had to work to find this wisdom, they would use it more carefully. So the gods suggested that they bury it deep in the earth. No, others said, too many people could easily dig down and find it. Put it in the deepest ocean, suggested one of the gods. That idea was also rejected. He knew that people would one day learn to dive and thus would find it too easily. One of the gods suggested hiding it on the highest mountaintop, but it was quickly agreed that people could climb mountains. Finally, one of the wisest gods suggested, let's hide it deep inside the people themselves. They'll never think to look there. So it came to be. So it continues today. Trust your intuition. For most of us, our early education and training focused on looking outside of ourselves for the answers to questions. Few of us had any training on how to look inside. And yet, most of the super successful people I have ever met over the years are people who have developed their intuition and learned to trust their gut feelings and follow their inner guidance. Many practice some form of daily meditation to access this voice within. Bert Dubbin, at the time a successful real estate investor, now creator of the Bert Dubbin Speaking Success Systems, serving speakers worldwide, it was all about trusting his intuition. For some time, he'd been looking to buy a four-corner property in Kingman, Arizona. He knew it would be a good investment, but he had not been able to locate a property that was for sale. One night, he went to bed as usual, only to be awakened at 3 a.m. with a clear inner message that he was to drive to Kingman, Arizona, now. And this is strange because he had called a realtor in Kingman earlier that same day, told there were no four-corner properties listed for sale. But having learned to trust his inner messages, Bert immediately got in his car and drove through the night, arriving at Kingman at 8 a.m. He went to Howard Johnson's, bought a paper, and turned to the real estate section, where he saw a four-corner property for sale. He went directly to the real estate office at 9, and had the property in escrow by 9:15. But how is this possible? Hmm. Called the day before to find no four-corner properties for sale. At 4:30 the previous day, a property owner had called from New York to sell his property. He needed the money. Because it was too late to get the property into the multiple listings, but knowing that the weekly paper didn't close until 5 p.m., the agent had called the paper and purchased an ad. Because Bert had trusted his still small voice within, he managed to purchase this prime piece of real estate before anyone else even knew it was available. Business magnate Conrad Hilton, founder of the Hilton Hotels Corporation, wanted to buy the Stevens Corporation at auction. He submitted a sealed bid for $165,000. When he awakened the next morning with the number 180,000 in his head, he swiftly changed his bid to 180,000, successfully securing the company and earning a $2 million profit. The next highest bid was $179,800. Whether they are real estate investors who hear a voice in the middle of the night, a detective who solves dead-end cases by following a hunch, an investor who knows when to get out of the market, or a football linebacker who can sense what a quarterback's next play is going to be, successful people trust their intuition. You too can use your intuition to make more money, make better decisions, solve problems quicker, unleash your creative genius, discern people's hidden motives, envision a new business, and create winning business plans and strategies. Everyone has intuition, just a matter of developing it. All the resources we need are in the mind. That was Teddy Roosevelt, 26th President of the United States. Intuition is not something relegated to certain people or to physics. Everyone has it and everyone has experienced it. Have you ever been thinking about your old friend Jerry and then the phone rings and it's Jerry on the line who was just thinking about you? Have you ever awakened in the middle of the night and knew something had happened to one of your children, only to find out later that it was the exact moment your son was in an automobile accident? Have you ever felt a burning sensation on the back of your neck and then turned to see a man staring at you from across the room? You'll experience this kind of intuition. The trick is to learn how to tap into it at will to achieve greater levels of success. Using meditation to access your intuition. When I was 35, I attended a meditation retreat that permanently changed my life. For an entire week, we sat in meditation from 6:30 in the morning until 10 at night, with breaks only for meals and silent walks. For the first few days, I thought I would go crazy. I'd either fall asleep from years of not getting enough sleep or my mind would race from one topic to another as I reviewed every experience of my past, planned how to improve my business, and wondered what I was doing sitting in a meditation hall while everyone else was out enjoying life. On the fourth day, an unexpected and wonderful thing happened. My mind became quiet and I moved into a place from which I could just witness everything that was occurring around me without judgment or attachment. I was aware of sounds, sensations in my body, and a profound sense of inner peace. Thoughts still came and went, but not at the same pace or of the same kind. The thoughts were deeper, what we might call insights, deeper understandings, and wisdom. Saw connections I had never seen before. I understood my motivations, fears, and desires at a deeper level. Creative solutions to problems that I had been facing in my life came into my consciousness. I felt relaxed, calm, aware, and clearer than I had ever felt before. Gone were the pressures to perform, to prove myself, to explain myself, to measure up to some external standard, to meet the needs of others. Instead, there was a deep sense of myself and my purpose in life. When I focused on my deepest, most heartfelt goals and desires, solutions would come pouring into my mind. Clear thoughts and images of the steps I would need to take, the people I would need to talk to, and the ways to transcend any obstacles I might encounter. It was truly magical. What I learned from this experience was that all the ideas I needed to complete any task, solve any problem, or achieve any goal were all available inside me. I've used this valuable insight ever since. Regular meditation will deepen your intuition. Regular practice of meditation will help you clear out distractions and teach you to recognize subtle impulses from within. Think of parents sitting on a bench on the edge of a playground filled with children laughing and yelling at each other. In the midst of all this noise, the parents can pick out their own child's voice from all the other voices on the playground. Your intuition works the same way. As you meditate and become more spiritually attuned, you can better discern and recognize the sound of your higher self or the voice of God speaking to you through the words, images, and sensations. The intellect has little to do on the road to discovery. There comes a leap in consciousness, call it intuition or what you will, and the solution comes to you and you don't know how or why. That was Albert Einstein, physicist and Nobel laureate. The answers lie within. Mark Victor Hansen and I were nearing completion of our first Chicken Soup for the Soul book. We still did not have a title for it. As Mark and I both meditate, we decided to inquire within. Every day for a week, we asked our internal guidance for a best-selling title. Mark went to bed every night repeating the phrase mega best-selling title and would awaken every morning and immediately go into meditation. I simply asked God to give me the best title for the book, and then I would sit with my eyes closed in a state of relaxed expectancy, waiting patiently for an answer to come. On the third morning, I suddenly saw a hand write the words chicken soup on a blackboard in my mind. My immediate reaction was, what does chicken soup have to do with our book? I heard a voice in my head respond, chicken soup is what your grandmother gave you when you were sick as a child. This book isn't about sick people, I thought. People's spirits are sick, my inner voice replied. Millions of people are depressed and living in fear and resignation that things will never get better. The book will inspire them and uplift their spirits. During the remaining minutes of that meditation, the title evolved from Chicken Soup for the Spirit to Chicken Soup for the Soul to Chicken Soup for the Soul 101 Stories to Open the Heart and Rekindle the Spirit. When I first heard Chicken Soup for the Soul, I got goosebumps. I've since learned that giving me goosebumps is one of the ways my intuition tells me I'm on track. 10 minutes later, I told my wife, and she got goosebumps too. Then I called Mark, and he got goosebumps. We were on to something right, and we all knew it. The last 20 years, Chicken Soup for the Soul has become a brand responsible for more than $2 billion in sales of books, many licensed products, including pet food and greeting cards. How your intuition communicates with you. Intuition can communicate with you in many ways. You may get a message from within as a vision or a visual image while you are meditating or dreaming. I often get images while I'm lying in bed after I first wake up, while I am meditating or getting a massage, or while sitting in a hot tub or taking a shower. It can come in a flash out of the blue, or it can be a long, unfolding image like a movie. Your intuition may speak to you as a hunch, a thought, or a voice actually telling you, yes, no, go for it. Not yet. Might come as one resounding word, a short sentence, or a complete lecture. You may find you can dialogue with a voice for clarification or more information. You may also receive messages from your intuition through your physical senses. The message is one of watch out or be careful. You may experience it as a chill, the creeps, a sense of restlessness, discomfort in your gut, constriction in your chest, tightness or pain in your head, even a sour taste in your mouth. A positive or yes message might come in the form of goosebumps, a dizzy feeling, warmth, a sense of opening or expansiveness in the chest, a sense of relaxation, a feeling of relief, or a letting go of tension. You may also experience intuitive messages through your emotions, such as feeling of uneasiness, concern, or confusion. Or when information is of a positive nature, you may experience a feeling of joy, euphoria, or profound inner peace. Sometimes it is just a sense of knowing. Sometimes if you heard someone say, I don't know how I knew, I just knew, or I knew it in my heart, or in the depth of my soul. An indicator that the message is truly from your intuition is that it will often be accompanied by a sense of greater clarity, feeling of rightness about the answer or the impulse. Another indicator that the message you are receiving is the correct one is an accompanying feeling of passion and excitement. If you're considering a plan of action or decision and it leaves you feeling constricted, drained, bored, or enervated, that's a clear message saying don't go there. On the other hand, if you feel expansive, energized, and enthusiastic, your intuition is telling you to go ahead. Intuitive answers can come anytime. Your most valuable intuitive wisdom may also come through the many forms of informal meditation we engage in every day, such as sitting by a waterfall, watching the ocean, staring at the clouds or the stars, sitting under a tree, staring into a fire, listening to inspiring music, jogging, doing yoga while praying, listening to a bird sing, taking a shower, driving on the freeway, watching a child play, or writing in a personal journal. Intuition isn't mystical. Dr. James Watson, Nobel laureate and co-discoverer of DNA. You can even do informal meditation in an abbreviated way during the middle of a hectic day. You need help making a decision, take time to pause, take a deep breath, reflect on the question, and allow the intuitive impressions to come to you. Pay attention to any images, words, physical sensations, or emotions you experience. Sometimes you will find that intuitive insights will immediately come into your awareness. Other times, they may come later in the day when you least expect it. Quick coherence technique. One of the simplest yet most powerful techniques I've learned and now teach in all my workshops is the quick coherence technique developed by the Institute of Heart Math in Boulder Creek, California. The fastest technique I found to bring you into yourself that relaxed and centered state from which you can access higher dimensions of your consciousness, and therefore make better decisions and determine more effective solutions to whatever problems you might be facing. Coherence is a term researchers use to describe a psychophysiological state in which your nervous, cardiovascular, hormonal, and immune systems are all working together efficiently and harmoniously. Doc Childer and Deborah Rosman of the Institute of Heart Math explain it this way. Research has found that the pattern of your heart rhythm reflects the state of your emotions and nervous system dynamics. For example, when you're feeling tense, irritable, impatient, frustrated, or anxious, your heart rhythm shifts into a disordered and incoherent pattern, like the diagram below. No wonder you can't calm your mind in this state. Heart rate, frustration. Chart here shows. Heart signals incoherence to the brain, which inhibits your higher brain functions and triggers a stress response. You can't perceive as clearly. Old emotional issues can start coming to the surface. You can use the quick coherence technique to bring your heart rhythms into coherence and enable your brain to synchronize with your heart's current rhythm. Start by learning how to shift into a heart-focused, positive emotional state through 3 simple steps. Number 1, heart focus. Focus your attention in the area of your heart, the center of your chest. If you prefer, the first couple of times you try it, place your hand over the center of your chest to help keep your attention in the area. 2, heart breathing. As you focus on the area of your heart, breathe deeply but normally and imagine your heart or your breath is coming in and going out through your heart area. Continue breathing with ease until you find a natural inner rhythm that feels good to you. 3, heart feeling. As you continue to breathe through the area of your heart, recall a positive feeling, a time when you felt good inside. Try to re-experience the feeling. You feeling appreciation for the good things in your life, or the love of your and care you feel for family members, close friends, or a pet. This is the most important step. Next step is to take the technique and make it a habit. We recommend you do this picking certain times of day when you can give yourself a guilt-free 3 to 5 minute focus on your heart. Start of your day right before lunch or just before bed. Find yourself waiting in line, Instead of getting aggravated, you can use the time to practice the technique. You'll be amazed at how different your experience of waiting can be. Instead of draining your energy by focusing on the negative, you'll be using the time to recenter and charge. The more you practice, the more quickly heart coherence will emerge and be easier to sustain. Once you start using this powerful centering tool, you may want to see for yourself how it affects your physiology. To help you do that, HeartMath has developed the M-Wave, emotional wave technology that actually tracks your coherence level using lights, sounds, and visuals, training to help you increase coherence for longer periods. There's both a simple to use handheld device and a smartphone app available. And the technology can quickly lead you to periods of high coherence, a state that many people who meditate spend years trying to achieve. And the chart here linking heart rate to appreciation. Down. Ask questions. Your intuition can also provide you with the answers to anything you should need to know. Ask questions that begin with should I and what should I do about? How can I and what can I do to? You can ask your intuition questions such as should I take this job? What should I do about the lack of morale in the company? What can I do to increase sales? Should I marry this person? What can I do to lower my time in the marathon? How can I achieve my ideal weight? What should I do next? Sway test. An easy way to get a clear yes or no answer from your intuition is to simply ask your body. I discussed somatic decision making, the sway test, in Principle 6. Use the law of attraction, but it's also a powerful technique for accessing your intuition. Both can be purchased at the HeartMath store at heartmath.org or on Amazon.com. Referring to the smartphone app. Handheld device for measuring coherence. Field of energy psychology. The way test is based is on the theory that your body and mind have vast intelligence, not only your entire lifetime's worth of knowledge, responses, emotions, and goals, whether you remember them or not, but also innate knowledge about what is best for you. Just as a plant will grow toward the sun, the human body will incline toward what is best for it. You ask your body questions about what's right for you, it will lean back or forward in response to your queries. I started using the sway test to ask questions about specific foods, supplements, sleep, and exercise. Then I used it for questions related to my relationships. Now I use it as part of all my decision making. Put complete instructions for the sway test online at our companion website, www.successprinciples.com/resources. Scroll down to Principle 47 and click on the link. Write down your answers. Whenever you access your intuition, be sure to immediately write down any impressions you receive. Intuitive impressions are often subtle and therefore evaporate very quickly. Make sure to capture them in writing as soon as possible. Recent research in neuroscience indicates that an intuitive insight or any new idea not captured within 37 seconds is likely to never be recalled again. In 7 minutes, it's gone forever. My buddy Mark Victor Hansen likes to say, as soon as you think it, ink it. Make sure you always have your smartphone or memo pad with you. You can record any intuitive insights or ideas that emerge. Take immediate action. Pay attention to the answers you receive and act on the information as quickly as possible. When you act on the information you receive, you'll find that you get more and more intuitive impulses. After a while, you'll be living in the flow. It will all seem easy and effortless as the wisdom comes to you and you simply act on it. As you learn to trust yourself and your intuition more, it'll become automatic. Experts agree that your intuition works better when you trust it. The more you demonstrate faith in your intuition, the more you will see the results in your life. I strongly encourage you to listen to your intuition, trust it, follow it. Trusting your intuition is simply another form of trusting yourself, and the more you trust yourself, the more success you will have. Remember, it's not what you think of, it's what you write down and take action on that counts. You listened and took action. Madeline Baleta is a very spiritual person. Her inquiring within means talking to God and listening to his answers. Madeline's life and her own success path were dramatically changed when she and her fellow church members prayed for a solution to her fatigue and heard the words fresh royal jelly. Understanding this clear directive, she investigated and discovered that royal jelly was the food substance worker bees fed to the queen in their hives. Wholesome and highly nourishing liquid that was just starting to be distributed in England as a nutritional supplement. Taking royal jelly for a time, Madeline started to get better, and soon she began to pray about whether royal jelly was meant to do more than just help her. Started Company was the response to her prayers. So Madeline did. Today, Be Alive is a multi-million-dollar company that has distributed nutritional products containing royal jelly to hundreds of thousands of people worldwide. Through it all, Madeline has prayerfully asked for guidance and listened attentively to the answers. I believe God gave me this vision, the inspiration, the strength, and the courage to see it all through, said Madeline. For example, by her second year of business, Madeline's marketing efforts had produced few results. In fact, with only $450 left in her checking account, her accountant advised that she fold up shop and move on. Madeline returned from that meeting, locked herself in a room, and cried and prayed and cried and prayed. On the third day, Madeline received the word radio and decided to bet the farm her remaining $450 on 10 radio commercials that cost $45 apiece. Within days, she was making steady sales again. Impressed by her passionate commitment to her product, the radio station eventually interviewed her on one of their talk shows. And by the time she returned home from that interview, recording artist Pat Boone asked about Royal Jelly and how it might help his daughter, Debbie. A few months later, Boone called back to tell her how pleased he was with the effects of the Royal Jelly. When he said, "If there's anything I could ever do for you, I'd be glad to," Adeline asked him to record 3 radio commercials. Boone agreed, and soon Be Alive was on 400 radio stations across America selling millions of dollars worth of product. What might happen when you inquire within? For Madeline Bayetta, praying, listening quietly, and acting on what she heard meant the development of a successful company serving hundreds of thousands of satisfied customers, as well as the creation of an unimaginable lifestyle for her and her family. Be mindful. In addition to inquiring within and regularly accessing your intuition, successful people also maintain a state of mindfulness. They know that mindset matters a lot. Dawa Tarchin Phillips, a mindfulness researcher specialist at the University of California, Santa Barbara, defines mindfulness as bringing one's complete attention to the present experience on a moment to moment basis. It means paying attention in a particular way on purpose in the present moment and non judgmentally. Use the principles in this book to focus on your future. It's also imperative that you stay rooted in the present, that you take action and maintain a growth oriented mindset. Cultivating the skill of mindfulness will help you stay focused on doing those things that will help you get to where you want to be. For Dawa's complete tutorial on becoming more mindful, present and self-supporting as you implement the success principles, visit successprinciples.com/resources. Scroll down to Principle 47 and click on the appropriate link. We find ourselves in part 4. Create successful relationships. Personal relationships are the fertile soil from which all advancement, all success, all achievement in real life grows. That was Ben Stein, writer, actor, and game show host. In part 4, find ourselves in Principle 48 to begin with. Be here now. Episode. Please stay tuned. Thanks so much for support the show. Likes, comments, shares, subscribes. Donations, Venom Stormer Show. Follow on TikTok. Subscribe on YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. Sleep tight. Have a good night. I've been your host, Stormer Show, signing out and signing off.